Good afternoon. This is Jennifer, the game pioneer from Game Brain Podcast. I hope you all are doing well. The weather finally got to be rainy here in Southern California, so that's been really good. We get so little rain now. So today I am going to discuss my top 10 games of 2020. And I know everybody else is discussing them, but I thought you might want to get my opinion. All of these games, I think, just about all of these games, I've either gone over or I'm going to go over in the coming months. So let's get started. I like to keep things short and sweet. There's no ranking. Because for me, for any given moment, I have, a different favorite game. And it also may depend on player count or which friends that I'm playing with. So these are just in any, random order. So starting with Tekhenu. We were really looking forward to this game. And I think for the most part, it delivered. The worker placement, the tactics in the game, the objectives. Yes, there were some issues with the objectives. It's kind of funny. I was talking with the developer, and I said, some of these objectives seem super powerful. He goes, oh, well, no, we tested them. But after a lot of discussion on Board Game Geek, there were two that were either eliminated or changed. And then we also make a change as well. I'll put those changes in the comments. So we played this a lot. It was really fun. It doesn't last too long, hour 15, hour and a half, even with 3 players. Highly recommended. Next is Babylonia, which I've already done a video on, but I just love this game. Knizia just, knocked it out of the park. If you want to hear more of my thoughts, please look at my previous Babylonia video. Next up may be a little bit of a surprise because this was considered a big dud for a lot of people. Pendulum. We really liked Pendulum. I know most Euro players don't like real-time games, but what I loved about it was the player agency. So it's not like everything's on the timer and when the timer's done, then you're done or whatever. It's whenever a player decides to flip the timer after it's done. And so that can lead to some really interesting situations on the board. We did have some issue getting people to play it and or enjoy it, but for a number of us, it was really a great time. Next up is Beyond the Sun. Even though it's kind of ugly, it kind of reminds me of like pre-2000 board games. Still, it is really interesting. I know there were some concerns because on the board is very different than the little space area. But the space area is really what's central to the game, and the board is more of, okay, well, let's see how we can get to a winning setup on the space-board. And I really like that. Most times, you have a space-board like that and everything is centered on that and the tech and stuff is kind of minor. But here, both the tech is central and the space-board is central. I thought the designer and my good friend Ken Hill did a great job with Beyond the Sun. Next up, search for Planet X. Believe it or not, I played this before Shut Up and Sit Down made it all popular. I forgot how I knew about it, but I rushed out and bought a copy when it first became available. And actually, I haven't listened to or watched the Shut Up and Sit Down video about it, but what I like the most is finally a deduction game, where the clues are always correct. Because so many of them, we all are having a good time, and then, hey, wait a minute. No, that can't be. That's impossible. Hey, Jim, are you sure that blah, blah, blah? And then the game kind of falls flat. Well, that doesn't happen with Search for Planet X. The other thing that I really like about it is it can be handicapped. My roommate is really good at it, and I'm really terrible. So I get all the max clues at the start, and he gets no clues. And then it becomes somewhat balanced, although he still beats me. But, you can't have everything. Next up is Paris. And as you know, I did a video on Paris. Oh, one thing I should asterisk about Paris. The rules say to put stuff behind the shields. I always play all games that this applies to. Once seen, always seen. So that review did not include us playing it with shields. Because in my opinion, for a competitive game, we want to not have to remember or, write it down, which is even worse. And I don't know, I feel that they put the shields in for AP people. Well, I don't play with AP people, so, problem solved. So we still really enjoy this. And then Anno 1800. I've done both an unboxing on that and a discussion of it. So if you want to hear my full thoughts, I'd refer you to those two videos. Next up, Pan Am. Hey, I remember Pan Am. That was the luxury airline when people actually wanted to leave the country on an airplane, which was really scary and stuff. But Pan Am was a really nice, chill experience. It's not super competitive, and sure, there's a little bit of jank, in the event cards and the other cards, but really, it fits in that little, let's just play something easy, but not filler, So we played a lot of Pan Am. Much recommended. I'm not sure if Target is the only retailer now, or if it finally got out of there. So check around. Next, 18 Chesapeake. 18 Chesapeake is a great game because it's like 1830, but easy to understand. I mean, so much of it is just like 30. But instead of having these privates where you have to know the game and make sure that, you aren't bidding too much, but you're bidding just enough. You don't need that here. Really all of the privates are fine. You don't need to be overly concerned that you've lost the game before you've even learned it. The map is great. There aren't any truly dead starts. They're kind of, in fact, some on Board Game Geek say that they're all equivalent. There are some easier starts, particularly in the West, but at the end of the day, you can win and lose with all of them. The only thing I didn't like about Chesapeake was that for the yellows, there's only straight cities, unless they're the special cities. But otherwise, I'm used to having, tight curved cities and curved cities. But in Chesapeake, there's only straight, and that's a little odd. But I played that a ton on 18xx.games. It's a great implementation. I highly recommend it. Last but not least is Winter Kingdom. Winter Kingdom's it has a little funny history with me because, I'm a huge Kingdom Builder fan. Love Kingdom Builder. Then I was hearing, they've kind of messed up Kingdom Builder and it's not like it was and such and such. So I had emailed Queen and said, well, maybe I want to cancel this. And they're like, look, it's already on the way, so you're just too late. And I'm so happy I didn't cancel it because what they've done is basically taken Kingdom Builder, which is mostly an abstract, and turned it into much more of a Euro. And it's a middleweight for sure. Euro, not heavy. I put it in the same class as Hansa Teutonica, but we have really enjoyed it. 2-player and 3-player. Now, I have not had an opportunity to play it 4-player, but I'm really looking forward to it. So, if you have a chance, I guess it's being sold only through Queen and on Amazon at full retail. So, if that bothers you, then you probably should give it a pass. But I just want to say we have really enjoyed our plays. So that's it for my top 10. My top 3 are on the podcast that features Hallertau, but I wanted to extend it out a little more. So I hope that you have a great day. My next video will be on Hallertau, and then I'll also be doing a video on dominant species marine. So please stay tuned, and thanks for watching.